All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 771 of Eating a Sheet of Paper a Day. I'm just double, triple checking to make sure that the stream is actually going. And what do you say? Let's just stop waffling and begin. Now, I have two objectives right now. One of the objectives is to have substantial conversation now let me just whisper this in your ear so that no one else hears, because I don't want for anybody to know that I did not fulfill my quota and that I failed yesterday to deliver. But if no one shows up, what else can I do? And I have to do other things. Actually, you know what? No. I just underwent a paradigm shift of just now. I don't have anything else to do. I just want to look for an excuse to not do anything. However, I will acknowledge that if no one shows up, which is inevitable if I'm doing this every day at sporadic times and no one's prepared if I am to start streaming, then of course, what am I to do? Especially because YouTube's algorithm is extremely unpredictable. But I will say this. Hopefully, at least 1 week or one time a week, we can get a movie review in. And with the power of OBS, it actually worked surprisingly well the other day, even though probably I think 4 people saw that stream or played it back. I was so happy with how that went, technically speaking, because on a technical level, sorry, I have some papers over there and they're blowing away because there's a nice little breeze, but I like the breeze anyways. And paper's obsolete. I don't need it. Fuck it. But yeah, I think that the picture went fine. I rewatched the stream. There was no audio delay. Everything frame rate wise appeared to be going quite well. I'm very, very, very happy with that. So it turns out Mesa College bandwidth is not absolute stinking garbage. So we're good. Mesathula, how are we doing? Oh yeah, I forgot to put my score of the day. So right now, a little exhausted, a little overwhelmed, but I am determined. I'm also anticipating some stuff in the future that's not going to be the peachiest, but also in general, some things in my life that I thought would get better, but kind of aren't, I don't really have the chance to explain myself to people, and at the same time, I don't want to impose upon other people. However, that's the big sacrifice people make. Listen, I don't want to create the awkward scenario of forcing myself upon someone else to explain my actions, and in doing so, my actions remain unexplained, and I seem more like a piece of crap. So, but whenever I get an opportunity to explain myself, I will, and also people who are too immature to let me explain myself to them, it's like, what can I do for you? There's not much I can do for you. So I'm not gonna use a crowbar and break into your room and be like, I have to explain myself right now. Get a Wi-Fi booster. You can plug it into your computer with a USB. I know that companies are aware of stuff like that. I know the technology exists, but Apple and Android, they want to make stuff like that of their own so that they can jack up prices. I know it probably costs $200. Although Mesathula, you're a little bit of a scrappy fellow. You probably got something off the dark web, or you went to some weird bootleg company and got probably a cheaper and equally effective option. I didn't even eat any paper with that. Communication is always a two-way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's what I was texting you about personally. So it's just this whole thing's so fucking annoying. And honestly, it's simultaneously a symptom of the world and also a symptom of my, really fucked up way of approaching interaction, where I just kind of say things that are on my mind, and I have this tact with my fun filter. It's what they called it in middle school. And I think to myself, listen, if it's honest and if it's true, if honesty is the best policy, which it's obviously not, but if I'm thinking of it in those terms, and I'm like, okay, if I were to not say this, I would be dishonest and snaky. And also off the principle of the thing I'm saying is technically true and it's technically a problem and it could be solved. And the could is a very big capital C could, because sometimes being honest about an issue makes it harder to solve because people just aren't ready to hear it and they shut down and they throw you out of the house and they flip out. By the way, I did not get evicted. It's figurative. But it's just really frustrating when I was trying to help and people don't appreciate it, but also the reasons for me trying to communicate is because I had feelings for somebody and my reaction was to just push them away. I was pushing. I think I talked about this on a previous stream, but I was very rude and very I wasn't really, I wasn't saying, I wasn't flipping the ring finger or anything like that. I wasn't doing anything explicit, but I was literally saying things that weren't true about how oh, I guess it's fine if you don't want to be friends anymore after this, and also I'm really reliant on you. I'm too reliant on you. And I got to stop being reliant on you because I can't be reliant on one person. And while that is true, it also that is basically pushing someone away. You know, even if you're acknowledging it's for healthy reasons, it's still very, in my opinion, disrespectful, I guess. Not intentionally. So hopefully that decreases the magnitude of disrespect, but like still. I'm a fucking idiot. I wish I would have done things a little different. But yeah, I at the same time though, like at any point along the way, this particular person could have opened up a dialogue and talked to me. But she did not. She used to watch these streams, so if she pops on and this is the first thing she sees, I think it's gonna be, I will have delayed the convo like another 5 years. So that's awesome. I'm glad I'm using my fucking big mouth right now. But I am being private and not disclosing any names, so it's fine. There's nothing to hold against me. Except for my point of view, which I would have confronted this person with anyways. So like, I don't know, cry about it. Yeah, where is this van going? He was like about to drive into the fucking stone pillars. He's right. Not ready yet. I doubt it's your fault. No, I mean it's not 100%, 0%. I don't think it's all my fault, but I could have objectively done things differently and had more consideration for another person. I will say I think the fact that the initial conditions require so much consideration on my part, so much disproportionate amounts of consideration on my part, it feels unfair. But being considerate's important, and I think I should learn to be more considerate. I'm generally a pretty inconsiderate. I try to be considerate, and I make a conscious effort to be considerate. But subconsciously, by nature, I'm a person who I'm in my own world, and I just do shit, and I don't really notice things that I do. And I told her this. I'm like, dude, I literally have a diagnosis that says I am bad at picking up on these things. So I am sorry, and I just need for you to communicate with me more. Like the main thing I was asking for was more communication. Responds by fucking ghosting me for a month. Like there's a million people I could have a crush on who wouldn't do that to me, you know. As you can see, this is consuming me. So I'm so sorry. I'm sure in months' time, you'll be like, hey, remember Brian when you were fucking giving us so many dumps about this shit and you were just endlessly talking about it? Yeah, I remember. Don't want to. I'm being gaslit. I appreciate your perspective. In fact, I appreciate it so much, I will pin it right now. But to meet everybody in the middle, I think that it is 80%. No, fuck it. No, it's 65% on her. How do I do math? 35% on me. So, yeah. She doesn't want to message you for much. She doesn't want to talk. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, also because she was going on a big vacation across the continent. Actually, no, not across the continent, to another continent, you know. She doesn't want to talk to me. She doesn't want to talk to me after I try to basically open up communication and try and be as honest as possible in an awkward way. Like, but if just being painfully earnest and awkward is too much for her, then like, was it ever meant to last longer than 6 months? No, probably not. It's just the process, man. Just tell me it's fucking done, because then she's like, no, we're gonna have to talk when I get back. And I'm like, oh, so we're actually gonna have a conversation. So I'm eagerly awaiting the conversation, and then she doesn't follow up. Like, if she said, I do not wish to talk to you anymore, fuck off, that would have been true closure. But now she said she has gone out of her way to tell me that she's going to further initiate with me. It's like, okay, when I get back from this vacation, we're going to talk about how it should have been in the first place, which for one is cryptic as hell. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And does that mean you're going to just be talking over me the whole time? Because I'd like to have us take turns. And I don't, but apparently I could just stop worrying about all that entirely because she didn't even follow up on that. So now I'm just anticipating she's just leading you on. I don't think so. I don't think she's doing anything on purpose. She's not malicious. I think that she's just stressed out, and she's doing the thing that my sister does, where it's like, I just don't want to deal with this right now. I'm just going to throw it in the bin, you know? And the more she pushes things away, she's depriving herself of some much needed paradigm shifting. You know, she could gain a different angle of the entire scenario and gain some new perspective, but instead she is prolonging the process and sinking deeper into her old perspective. Those are some big words, but I'm sure you get what I'm saying. Does she care about you? Of course she did. She was a little too, she cared a lot, actually. There are a lot of things she did that indicated a lot of care, which worries me. So I'm like, okay, in that video, I don't think I acknowledged that enough. I try to be like, dude, the time I spend with you is kind of the best part of my week. But that was not even close to the full picture, because it was like, you've done a lot of things for me in this friendship. And to her, it certainly might have seemed like I kind of was like, oh yeah, I don't like this thing and that thing about you, and I don't like that thing as either. Also, I have a crush on you. Let's get that out of the way. I said that in the video. And then if that's too much for you and you don't want to be friends with me, then I guess that's okay. But I still really like spending my time with you. I'm like, yeah, it was very nonchalant, and I don't think it was the proper tone, I guess, for the video. I don't know. Yeah, doesn't care. I'll say this: throughout our relationship, she definitely seemed like she was affectionate towards me, but trying to hide it. And then on the other hand, she is averse towards affection and pushed me away. And in those moments where she was conversationally neglectful, and I mean that's the reason I made that big video and I sent it to her in the first place, which was like, I would try to have a conversation with her, which is how people interact, breaking news. People converse, and most of the conversations I would start would be like, oh, I guess we're talking about this now. And I'm like, it's not even anything that bad. It's very casual subject matter. And I have a good, excuse my language. I have a good frame of reference too, because I have conversations of that shade with most other people, and they do not give a fuck. They don't care. So there are definitely parts of her that seemed very like, I really do care about Brian, I care about this person, and I want to invest myself in him. But other parts of her that were very guarded. She's probably been hurt in the past, and she didn't want to set herself up for the bowling pins to get knocked down. But at the end of the day, the one who really threw the bowling pin was her, because I didn't try to do shit, and it could have been a non-issue if she would have just responded like a normal person. It would have been like, okay, Brian, that's kind of weird, making a fucking oversized YouTube video trying to fucking talk about it, trying to talk about our relationship like we're further down the road than we actually are, when we're just very good friends who, when there's affection there, but it's not the defining trait. I thought we just wanted to watch movies. Why the hell are you saying all this? She could have said any variety of things similar to that, and then I would have reciprocated. She would have reciprocated. And things would have been a lot better. But ghosts me for a month, and also, like, I thought I was inconsiderate because I was doing it right before her vacation, and that's why she was probably extra irate. But like, she had a month. She had like an entire fucking month before that vacation happened, where she could have easily cleared it up with me, and she didn't. So, yeah. Well, you don't know the situation, Miss Athula, but yes, that is a perspective to consider. And also, the worst type of scenario is, there's actually a video I saw a while ago called Toxic Empaths, and how you have psychopaths and sociopaths, but even worse than both of those are toxic empaths, because they both physically hurt you and emotionally hurt you. Because people who care about you so much to the point where it becomes parasitic. I mean, honestly, both her and I were doing that. So, I mean, I'm saying right now, it is definitely not all her fault. There's some blame to be spread on my part too. And I'm willing to take that accountability, and I've been trying to take that accountability. And most of the accountability that I'm willing to take, I haven't even told her yet, because I'm waiting for an in real life conversation. I'm not just going to send a giant wall of text going, by the way, this, and this, after I sent her a incorrect message that, oh, I guess I pushed her away when I shouldn't have, and now she responded by pushing me away, and she means it, because I honestly had it coming, because I am just not used to having a crush on somebody. It's been a long time, and it's part of my learning curve. So, like, honestly, there's going to be other scenarios, and hey, listen, if things work out and she actually is like, you know what, let's talk, and then we talk and it ends well, then that's great. But it's a good life skill to be prepared for the opposite to happen. So I'm willing for the opposite to happen, So how long has it been? In real life, talked to her probably 2.5 months. How long has it been since I texted her? I think about 1 month to 3 weeks. If that's a sign to you that it's over, then I mean, I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. But oh yeah, this is the last piece, by the way. Whew, that was a rough one. All right, this is the final piece. And 3, 2, 1. All right. I just think that the road will get smoother, but I think the rough parts of the road, the defining trait of that rough part of the road is literally just the fact that I am constantly wishing I had done a different thing, or wishing, or it's kind of a desperation to change the circumstance, right? It's trying to it's this urge to just go out there and change the whole thing. But I know that if I follow that instinct will make it worse. And then being in a situation where I can't trust my own instincts is so bad for me, because I'm not a very calculated person. I go off instincts. Like, instinct's my main thing that I use. So in this scenario, when my instincts are fucked up by this whole crush affection thing, like, that whole thing really, in my opinion, that handicaps me, because not being able, not being able to trust my own instincts is not very fun, because then I have to constantly be so overly cognizant of myself that life becomes a little more of a struggle. I keep missing the stream. I know. I mean, I'd say I'm sorry, but I think you should be sorry because you missed the stream, all right? Catching the stream is your responsibility, but it's okay. I'll forgive you right now because you're on the stream right now. Hey, Danny, it's been a while. She's her own person, out of your control. It sucks when you care about him. That's the way. Yep. Yeah, I know. I think that's the thesis of the day. Life, I'm not going to say life is a B word, but life can be a nice big plate of gonorrhea, and sometimes it's the only food we have to lap up, and we got to fill our stomachs with something. So for sustenance sake, we got to poison ourselves. But hey, I've been poisoned and my body has built up an immunity, almost like how it's built up an immunity to paper over the course of 771 days. And I've done it, and I will do it again tomorrow on day 772. Thank you very much for watching day 771 of Eating a Sheet of Paper a Day. Mesethula, I really appreciate you being my personal therapist. And make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. And until next time, this is goodbye. Mesethula, Danny, all right, 2 of you, I'm blowing you 2 kisses. Mwah. That was like 1 kiss split into 2, so you guys kind of got ripped off, but it's fine. See you around. The end.